Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Kart Crazy. Not working on a golf cart today, actually working on a Christmas present for my wife, and thought I'd bring you all along for the journey, and hopefully we can make sense of this by the end of the video. I'm Jeff, welcome to Kart Crazy. Alright, so here's my idea. She has this sign which we picked up at a craft fair that she really likes, and I want to kind of go off of that just because my artistic ability is basically nothing, but I basically traced that out. I don't know if you can see that on here. Traced that outline out with the pencil here, and what I'm going to do is take the new plasma cutter that I picked up, and this is a Prime Weld Cut 60, and we're going to try this out today, basically throwing myself right into the fire. I've never used a plasma cutter. I understand how they work, and I understand the concept of it, but we're going to cut this piece of metal out, and then I want to cut some strips. I've got about 50 sheets of plywood that I need to use up for something. I bought those on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to cut these into basically like a shiplap form. I'm going to cut this piece of metal out, and if you can picture this as the piece of metal, it'll be kind of a raised up off of here a little bit to kind of give it that 3D effect. I'm still going to do the heart in the corner, and then I was thinking about having maybe some magnets made that would be interchangeable for the seasons, because obviously this will be metal, maybe like Merry Christmas and Happy Valentine's Day, something like that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get those magnets made in time. If not, what I'll do is I'll just get a vinyl decal to put on there for now, and then we can always do the magnets later. You know, because I'm a procrastinator, and it's like Christmas is like, you know, next weekend or the weekend after. I don't know. It's coming up fast, and if I'm going to get this done, I got to get cracking on it. So basically going to just go into this thing freehand, except for maybe the straight parts here. I might use a straight edge on and see if I can't cut myself out a pattern. Good news is I bought a big enough sheet that if I mess up, I can always trace it out on this side and do another one. So let's see how this goes. Well, made a couple of, or one practice run here, and then thought I would just go for it on this side, and I don't know if that's showing up, but it's hard to tell where the line is when you're going, because my line's not real great, or bright, I guess, for that matter. But one thing I'm definitely having a problem with is my little baby air compressor over there is not keeping up. This uses a lot of air, so I'm definitely going to need a bigger air compressor, which I planned on doing anyway once I get the new shop built. But I guess I'm just going to kind of go for it. I can probably grind these edges down a little smoother and make them so they're not so wavy, although not that it really matters, because this side of the state is wavy anyway. The top side I'm actually using the flat edge that was already cut, and then down here what I'll probably do is get a piece of angle iron or something and use that for my guide. So doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. Wow. Where has that been all my life? That is pretty cool. Obviously there's a little bit of a, can you see that? Kind of a jagged edge on there. I'll put that either, I'll use a Dremel tool, or I've got a kind of a bench belt sander. I can put that in, but that went way better than I thought. I did use a straight edge. I put this piece of square tube and kind of clamped it in. And look at what that does when you don't do it freehand. Look at how clean that cut is. I did get a little booger on the corner here, but that'll buff out. And then my edge where the river is, you know, if it's not 100% accurate, It's not like you're going to be able to tell anyway. So I got the basis outline of it. I do need to try to make a heart because I want to have that heart stand out a little bit and be 3D. So I'm not good at drawing hearts. I don't know if I could find something around the house or maybe online I could print off so I could trace it. But what I'll do is I'll cut that heart out and then I'll 3D that in the corner, and then we'll figure out what to do for there. So clean that up a little bit, and then what I'll have to do is get my table saw fired up. We'll get this cut into strips to give it that shiplap appeal or look for the back side. Not going too bad. Well, I was able to find something to trace for the heart. And again, we've got jagged edges, but I'll take it in my belt sander here, clean those edges up, clean the edges up on our sign, or our stake, I guess. And that's pretty much it for the plasma cutting. Man, that went quick. I really wish we had more to do. Well, I guess I'll have to do another project because that's really fun. And we'll get everything kind of buffed up here on the belt sander, and then we'll start ripping some plywood for our shiplap. Okay, so got some progress done outside, off camera. Took my plywood, and I guess I got this sitting on here so you can't really see it, but I ripped those into strips to give us that effect that I was looking for. What I'll do is I'll air nail these furring strips, flip it over, and this will actually be bolted to the other side. I welded a nut on the back of here, and I'll drill a hole, and then I'll bring a bolt in from the back side up, and that'll give that 3D effect. So all the wood will be painted black. The Arkansas State will be painted white, and then the heart, of course, red. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do for a message on there. Got a couple ideas, like we talked about earlier in the video, but who knows how it'll end up. But got a good start, not a whole lot left to do, really. And we'll keep chugging away. Alright, I've got myself all set up here. These are the pieces that I've cut. I made myself a jig, basically, with some scrap pieces of wood. That way I can push everything up against one side, pull everything down this way, and it'll be nice and square. Stuck some old washers in there, or not old washers, new washers, I guess, to give myself the spacing. I did not like the spacing on just one, so I added two, so I've actually got two washers on each one. And you can use whatever you've got laying around the house, you know, quarters, washers, nickels, old toenail clippings, whatever's convenient for you, as long as you get the desired spacing that you want. Now what I'll do is I'll take my strips that I cut, and this doesn't have to be real particular because this is going to be on the back of the sign anyway, but we'll basically lay these on here. And I've got my brad nailer, and we'll tie everything together with that. Nice little air brad nailer. 1-inch brads in there, that should be just perfect. And we'll get that buttoned up, and then we can work on the other side. Well, I couldn't have asked for that to go much better. Got some nice spacing in there. Now what I can do is kind of visualize where I want the metal portion of it. And what I'm going to do here is I'll weld nuts on the back side. Here, here, probably here, and here. And number one, that's going to give me just that little bit of a 3D effect, so it'll hold that away from the wood just a little bit with the nut on the back side. And then I can drill a hole, come in with a bolt into those nuts, and that'll hold everything and tie everything together. Got a few more things done off camera. I wanted to show you this little trick. I put a straight edge across the top. I clamp that down, and that way my top was nice and level. And then on the sides, I just marked it with a pencil mark here. Then what I did, I got all this done off camera. I wanted to show you too, but I've got my nuts welded on the back side. I hit those with a little bit of spray paint while it was still wet. I just set it down. That way I know exactly where to drill my holes, and there's no guesswork for getting it bolted in from the back side. Also got my bolt through for my heart in the front corner. By the way, can you tell what state I live in yet? There's a good geography lesson for you. So, got that pretty much flawlessly, just the way I planned. Put the bolt holes through. I'm short one bolt. These are too long, so I've got to hunt down a shorter bolt, and I may have to put a couple washers on the back side there, but I've got plenty of clearance, see, with our board on the back, that those aren't going to stick out, so I can certainly put a washer in there. That one hole might be off just a little bit, but we could go 1 or 2 sizes bigger with a drill bit and be just fine. So now, sand this down a little bit, clean up these edges. This is going to get black paint, white paint, red paint. So, keep chugging away. Well, talk about cutting things down to the wire. Here I am on Christmas Eve outside getting this thing primed and painted, and the heart I've got over there, that's going to be red. This will be white, and then I've got the wood background black. Well, finished product. Turned out pretty good, I think. There's of course a few imperfections if you look real close, but for the most part I had a lot of fun with the project, and really looking forward to presenting this tomorrow on Christmas morning. I do have to get, my idea was, I finally figured it out, you can buy magnetic letters, like what you would put on a refrigerator. Most of them look like, you know, something kindergartners use, but I think if I look a little harder I can find something fancy, and she can put, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Happy Easter, whatever on there, and kind of change it for the season. So that's what I'm hoping for. We'll be able to find something like that yet, but I don't know if you can see it, but I did put, you know, like I showed you earlier, some spacing in there to kind of give it that shiplap look. And the heart, of course, can you tell that it's stuck out a little bit, more like a 3D. So that's it. I know it's a little bit different content for the channel, but I wanted to get something out there for y'all. It's been a couple weeks. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, I'm always tinkering in the garage and doing stuff. Just let me know, and I'll make sure I document it. If not, we'll stick with the golf carts. But appreciate you watching, and like I said, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Kart Crazy.